And they had a son that was my age. He was a few months younger than me. And he wasn't mentally retarded or anything, but he was, kind of slow, about like kind of Forrest Gump level. And so we were always in the same class at school and stuff. And he would get picked on a lot and get beat up. And it ended up becoming my responsibility to protect him on the playground and stuff. If anybody picked on him, I had to, fight back. And for some reason, I was a pretty good fighter. One of my memories of my dad, I got into a fight with a little girl in the neighborhood. She was a couple years older than me. I'd never been in a fight before, and this little girl went off and just stomped me hard. So I cried and went home to my dad, and he had company over, and just some guys from work having a barbecue or something. And so I came home, crying, told him I got beat up by this girl up the street, and he took me in the house and put one of my sister's dresses on me and marched me back out in front of his friends and said, "This is my son, the sissy, who gets beat up by girls." And the lesson I took from that was, it don't matter if you get beat up by a girl or not, just don't get beat up. And so I haven't lost a fight since. And so protecting this kid on the playground, I was always in fights and trying to keep the peace. And then we'd get home and he would get just anything he wanted, and I would get nothing. And there's just always weird stuff like that. We didn't know what was out there. And, I was curious. I was, into, science fiction. Loved this, Star Wars and Star Trek and stuff like that. And that was all the devil. I couldn't go see E.T. when it came out the theater because that was just, the devil. Everything was Satan, And so, like I said in the other video, I understand where these people are coming from when they say, Haiti is trying to deal with the devil, for their freedom. I know what it's like to sit down and think hearing something like that is normal. And it was just, that was common knowledge. Yeah, they did sign a deal with the devil. And that's how they think. And it's not that they are a part of a different religion or anything like that. It's if you're in another religion other than, their form of Christianity, you're under the control of the devil. The devil has you. Even moderate Christians, to these fundamentalists, are under the control of Satan. That's why they don't take the Bible literally on all accounts and things like that. Is that Satan has fooled them. And so that's how we, grew up. It's just a lot of, just weird things. And, they don't spare the rod. We took our share of beatings. And when I say, we got whipped, I ain't talking about getting smacked on the ass or, have a belt on occasion. I'm talking about you get stripped naked and somebody holds you down across the bed while somebody else beats you with a leather strap to the point that you can't take your shirt off when you go to bed that night because it has stuck to your body from the blood, and you just reopen the wounds trying to remove your shirt, and you have to strategically pick out your clothes for school so that everybody else doesn't see the marks on you, and you just hope that you don't get picked to play on the skins team in gym class for the shirts and skins. And it was all justified, with the Bible. And so I thought it was okay. And, went through school like that, up to high school. And at high school, we left the Christian school. We didn't go there no more. Because the school actually moved to a different town, and it was a procedure to get there, and it was just easier to go to the public school. So in high school, we went to the public school and tried to be normal, but it was hard. And I was about 16, I guess, and my sister, and me and her kind of had a fairly tight relationship, even though we were kind of separated a lot. They wouldn't let us be around each other a whole lot at home, kind of like they were, they didn't want us conspiring or something, and we couldn't talk, and they'd always try to play us against each other. But we would, we'd hold whisper conversations while we were doing dishes, and we'd even arrange to set our alarm clocks in the middle of the night so we could get up and meet somewhere in the basement or something and just talk about some of the things that was going on and happening to us. And I remember she ran away from home a couple of times. And even, she even tried calling the police, over the beatings and stuff, and informed the people at school. And nothing was ever done about it. I can remember the police coming to the house and, me being told, to tell these, evil people that, weren't part of our group that, this wasn't going on. And it was just like all apologetics, and I can remember it just all being explained away, and nothing ever happened. So, it never crossed my mind to, try to call the police or let anybody else know. Because, nothing would be done. And so she ended up running away, or just actually moving out. But she turned out 18, she's a couple years older than me. And it was just, just one day she was gone. And I remember our step-parents, or aunt and uncle, had to go see a lawyer because of her. I didn't know why. They had to go meet with this lawyer, with her and her lawyer. And that was all I knew of it. I didn't know anything else about the story. And so she was gone for a couple of years until I turned 18. And, I got a job, working nights as a security guard. And I ended up buying a little scooter, little Yamaha scooter, rode it to school and stuff. And it was fun having that little thing. And I remember I wanted to go swimming one day, and in Illinois you have to go find a lake with a beach, if you're going to go swimming. And there's a few pools around and stuff, but there was a big swimming lake, beach deal, a couple towns away, and I'd always wanted to go there. And now I had some transportation, so I was like, I'm going to go to that one. I'd always seen it from the road or whatever, and I always wanted to go check it. I just had big high dives and stuff. And so I went over there, and I was sitting on the beach, I'd been swimming and stuff, and was kind of taking a break, sitting on the beach. And I noticed this girl, and I was looking at her, I'm like, man, I know her from somewhere. I couldn't figure it out. And I noticed she kept checking me out. And so pretty soon we ended up kind of like meeting in the line at the snack counter, and it was my sister. We hadn't seen each other in 2 years. And we're like, holy shit, And she's like, I need to talk to you. And I was like, okay. She's like, explain to me what's going on. Is everything still the same as it was and everything? I was like, yes, everything, nothing's changed. And she's like, are you getting your money? And I was like, money? What money? She said, when you turned 18, we got a pretty big inheritance from our father. My dad, come to find out, was an aircraft designer for McDonnell Douglas Aircraft, and was one of the people who helped design the DC-10 and some other things. And so he had left us quite a good chunk of change. And she explained to me that, I had an inheritance coming, and I had like some Social Security money coming and stuff like that, and I should have been getting it. And I was like, this is the first I heard of this. Right about my 18th birthday, though, there was something about some money that I was getting, but I didn't know how much it was or anything like that. I never saw a check or anything. But my aunt and uncle told me that there was some money, but it was going to be put away for me for later in life, and I needed to sign this form so that I couldn't go get the money by myself, and they wouldn't have access to it, and we both have to go together to get it. And I was like, okay. So I remember I signed the form and gave it back to him. I didn't read it or anything. I didn't know what it was. It was just something about like college fund money or something. And come to find out, what I had done was signed a power of attorney over and given them control of all of the money, and they had taken it. But I was sent Social Security checks that I never saw. They were just forging my name on them and cashing them. And so I even contacted Social Security, about a year later or so. And they were uninterested in following it up, so I never saw a dime of that. I did end up getting a little bit from the aunt and uncle. But it was basically what they had to give me, that I could sue them over. So I ended up going home. So my sister told me, she's like, look, if you need to get out of there, come live with me. She gave me her address and everything. And so I had made up my mind on the way. I was like, I'm fucking out of there. This is crazy.